Welcome back, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that I honestly think is one of the most fascinating technologies hidden within human consciousness. And when I say technology, I'm not talking about something outside of you. I'm not talking about AI. I'm not talking about some machine somebody built. I'm talking about something that exists inside of you, something that's always been there, something encoded within your DNA. And that technology is what I call the DNA Stargate. When most people hear the word Stargate, they think of portals, sacred sites, vortexes, or ancient places that seem to hold a unique energy. Honestly, they're not wrong. There are places on this planet that feel different. You walk into them and your mind quiets down. You feel more present and connected. Sometimes you receive clarity or insights that seem to come out of nowhere. Sometimes you leave knowing something shifted, even if you can't explain it. But what if those places aren't powerful because the power exists outside of you? What if they're reflecting something your body already recognizes? What if they're mirroring a dormant technology within the original human blueprint? Because that's what I've come to understand. DNA contains an extraordinary level of intelligence, not just the intelligence that tells your heart how to beat or your lungs how to breathe. I'm talking about multidimensional intelligence, a consciousness technology, a communication system, a Stargate system. And as humanity activates more of the original 12 strand DNA blueprint, we're reconnecting with capacities that have remained dormant for a very long time. I've noticed people are naturally drawn to certain places. Maybe it's Sedona, maybe it's Mount Shasta, maybe it's the ocean, maybe it's a random place in nature where they suddenly feel connected to something greater than themselves. Sometimes they can't explain why, they just know something feels different there. And what if what they're sensing isn't imagination? What if they're perceiving a coherent field of intelligence? Because that's what a Stargate really is. A Stargate isn't simply a place, it's an informational field containing a higher degree of coherence, organization, and intelligence. And when the body enters that field, something begins to happen. The nervous system responds, the cells respond, consciousness responds, synchronicities increase, time feels different, your intuition becomes stronger, you start receiving insights that weren't available before. And for some people, life begins reorganizing itself almost immediately. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Within the 12 strand DNA system, two strands become especially important when we start talking about stargates, the seventh strand and the eighth strand. The seventh strand activates higher guidance. It's connected to receiving intelligence beyond the analytical mind, almost like turning on a receiver that had been silent for years. Then the eighth strand comes online. The eighth strand is what I call the divine manifester. This strand organizes energy into reality. It increases your ability to work with possibilities, timelines, and creation itself. When these two strands work together, you don't just receive information anymore. You begin interacting with it. You start sensing energetic structures that other people might walk right past. And this is where the Stargate coded pendulum becomes such a powerful tool, because the pendulum isn't creating the connection, it's revealing a connection that already exists. It's acting as a bridge between consciousness and the earth field. As people activate strands 7 and 8, many begin discovering Stargate points in their homes, communities, and natural environments. Because the earth itself has an energetic architecture, the earth is alive, the earth is evolving, and just as humanity is awakening, the earth is awakening too. We're evolving together. From my perspective, ascension isn't about escaping earth. It isn't about leaving the body. It isn't about becoming less human. It's about becoming more of who we were originally designed to be. It's remembering the intelligence within the DNA, remembering our connection to the earth, remembering our connection to source, and remembering that the technologies we've spent so much time searching for outside of ourselves may have been within us all along. As the DNA awakens, the Stargate network awakens. As consciousness expands, humanity begins stepping into an entirely new relationship with reality itself. And maybe that's why you've been feeling the pull to remember, the pull towards certain places, experiences, and conversations. Maybe it isn't random, maybe something within you already knows. And honestly, I think we're only beginning to discover what's possible. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.